Okay guys, today we've got one of my Speed Queens. Now here, I just rebuilt this thing, put a brand new bearing set in it, but when I go to spin it, it still wants to drag. Like, it does not want to spin the motor, which means I'm gonna guess to say that bottom bearing is bad. See this one right here? Now, it's giving me a lot of drag. It should be, and see how it stopped spinning? That thing should have a little bit of spin to it. Now, I just changed the top one. Okay, so that's brand new. That's spinning nice and real nice. Real nice. But down here, there's a lot of drag down here. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this apart. We're gonna take this tub out. I have all the stuff already out of it, ready to pull. We're gonna pull this tub out, and I'm gonna show you just a quick bottom bearing change out. It's a lot easier than doing the top bearings, but these don't always go bad, but they do. They go bad sparingly, but we're gonna remedy that. Okay, we're gonna pull this tub here. I got everything off of it, so it's easy to just pull down. All right, guys. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that off. That is the pulley. Tub pulley. Now, okay, so I'm pulling this thing, and it is dragging. It should not be dragging like so. So it's gotta be that bottom bearing. It's gotta be. The top bearing's clean and clear. Brand new. So, that, or somehow that this, now could be, because this is wrong, it could be that these brakes and this assembly is causing drag. See this? Down here, there's little grooves here. Now these little grooves here, whoever put this tub together, I didn't put the brakes on this. Whoever put the brakes on this thing, the tub, these little grooves here are supposed to be facing downward, and they're not. So we're gonna get 3/8 ratchet wrench, and we're gonna flip these. Now, how do we get, how this all wants to pull up, how do we get those out of there? What we can do is throw down the washers again, throw down a pulley, push it down, and pull them out. Be careful, because I think they're still good, they're just upside down. We're going to set those aside. Okay, pull this back up. Here we have the clutch brake assembly. Now there's nothing in there, so we're good there. So this looks okay. A little bit of grease, not bad. Not bad at all. Nice and clean. So we'll set that aside. We didn't have to remove that. Actually, yeah, we did have to. There. We're going to take .5/16 here. Then 1/2 inch 1, essentially 2, 3, 4, plus the plate. And then 5, 6. Ta-da! Out. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out. All right, now you can access this bearing. Now this, okay, this isn't good. This feels nice and free. So, and this also feels nice and free. So where was our drag? What I'm gonna do for the kicks and giggles, we're gonna change that anyway. All right, guys, now that we are posted up here, what I'm gonna do is, this looks like a new bearing. Actually, it looks like it's fairly new. So we're gonna change it anyway. Okay. I'm gonna take something that we can punch this out with. I'm gonna take this Speed Queen coin drop tool that I have. I'm gonna set it right in there. And big old 4-pound sledgehammer. What can't we fix with this 4-pounder? So, just like that, out. That boy is out. Like I said, this one doesn't seem bad. Actually, look at this, free spinning. So, I'm gonna probably set this aside for later. Who knows? This is probably still good. Okay. Part 289 RR or 28944 RP. Okay. Now you can use, in fact, I'd probably recommend a bearing race punch tool. A little bit of oil in there, but what I like now, bearing race punch tools are very expensive. So in most cases, what I end up using is a piece of iron pipe. This is like 2-inch, and then a flange. What I do is I set the flange down like that, and we're home. That's it. This black cover side goes face upwards. Just like that. Now, we're gonna put this thing back together. Okay. We're gonna stick that back on there. Now, when you go and put this thing back on here, you'll see the 2 markings here. That's for these screws that go in here. Set this guy in here. Let's say. Okay. Now this is nice and free spinning. So, I don't think our bearing was a problem, but just to cover our bases and to show you how it's done, that's how that bearing went in. Okay. What we're gonna do is we do it in reverse order. I have 3 plates, or 6 half-inch head screws. Okay, and our 2 5/16 for the counterweight. starters. I do. Now, when you do these, see this little notch? This notch goes downward towards the base. We'll start with the back ones. One. Two. Now, it would be recommended to leave them loose, but I consider myself a pro. I've done a million of these. These are like second nature. And notch to the base. It really, honestly, it really. That's how I see it when I tear them apart. That's how they go back together. Alright. Banger. Okay. Next, we got our brake assembly. What we're gonna do, we're gonna sit on there. Now there's, I'm gonna bring this over to you guys so you can see it. Here, we have a little notch assembly. Okay. See this little notch? See the little teeth in the transmission? They go in like that. Now this will not spin once we get everything down. That does not spin once everything's in. Okay, next we're going to do brakes. Now we're going to put them in the right way this time. Maybe this is what was causing our drag. So, see the little notches? These little grooves? They go face down. 1, 2, 3. Then, what I like to do is I like to take this sucker here. No, I don't like to take that sucker. No, I don't like to mess with the pulley because it's in the way. So, what I do is I take my 38mm socket, drop it down on there like that. Okay. I'm going to grab my 3/8 heads, brake bolts, like so. Alright. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on this, just like so. Grab our brakes, slide them in here on the groove. Now this is a lot harder to do whenever the tubs are already in the unit, if you're ever changing brakes. But when you have everything out and you're doing this now, it's time to do it. Push that down. What it does is it gives a little play. You can start them, because what it is these little, see the little space in between threads there? That lines everything up. Bang, done. So, let's get these two 5/16 screws in here. Okay. If this is off by, you know, a 1/4 inch, you know, 1/8 of an inch, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. As long as it's lined up enough that you can get screws in. Okay. Here are 2 washers. Now, another thing is when these 2 washers get dirty and there's like gunk in between, or they get stuck up, what they'll do is they'll make a chirping sound in the agitate. When your machine is agitating, it'll go pew, 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 pew. Spray a little WD-40 in between into these 2 washers here. because what happened, like I said, they get grungy in the inside and they stick together and they make chirping noises. Like I said, spray some WD-40 in there, quiet right down. This, you got a nylon washer, you got a metal washer. The nylon washer goes towards the brake assembly. Just like that. Metal washer towards the pulley. Agitate pulley. Just like that. Now, oh guys, I was wrong. This whole piece, this brake assembly will spin because it spins with the transmission. It's solenoid. Anyway, that goes on. This plastic piece is called the helix. Helix goes on and it slides in the grooves. See how it slides in with the transmission? Okay, what we're gonna do, bolt that up, and I'm gonna show you how that actually works. It is a beautiful day out here today, huh? All right, now let me get in here and I'll show you. Okay, see this pulley here? What we're gonna do is, you see this little spline here? What this does is this pulls like this, and this pulls this tub like so. Oh man, look how much easier that spins now. I bet you it was that brakes. It was definitely the brakes. Look at this. You can tell. Oh man, she's ready to go. Look at that. Look at all the spin. Yeah, so when this goes into spin, what it does is this actually pushes down on this brake assembly, allowing you to spin the transmission. See what it does is it pushes down. See how it pushes that agitate pulley down? And then it spins the whole tub. Now, when it agitates, what it does is the motor pulls it this way and then pulls this. Now this is attached to the input drive shaft. And this is what this is doing now, is this is actually turning the agitator going like this, back and forth. That's how this works. Speed Queens. Very, very simple designs, but man, they're tough machines, man. Okay, wow, that's spinning like a champ. Okay. All right, guys, I'm done here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this machine, I'm gonna get this unit back into the machine and get this machine back together. All right, guys, we are all back together. This one here, as you can see, this is a commercial free runner Speed Queen. It only has 4 settings: hot, warm, perm press warm, delicates. Push start, away it goes. See you in 30 minutes. That is a simple commercial Speed Queen. Now, back to this. Now that we're all back together, check this out. Now, you saw how hard it was for me to pull the transmission the first time. Now look at this. Give a little push. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. It wants to pull itself just by momentum. That's what you want to see. So, it was either the bearing, that bottom bearing, or the brake pads. I'm gonna assume the brake pads because the bearing did feel good. Even the old bearing did feel good. But look at this. We got our problem solved. That thing's gonna spin like a top. It's gonna, now, it would whistle if it was empty, if it was a porcelain tub. If it was a porcelain inner tub, it would whistle. If it's a stainless tub, it'll whistle, but it's not as bad. It has a slight whistle to it. But yeah, this guy's going up on the market. Somebody Somebody will buy this thing. And that's it. That's a commercial speed queen. These guys here, these commercial speed queens, they are pretty much the same as a normal home run speed queen.